How you doing, everyone? This is Latorian Paul, and I want to come back today with some very cool but simple news. Um, I think this may be the most simplest way to trade ever, and it's going to be by using the moving averages as a guide. Okay, as a guide, we're going to be using math and the form of slope. I spoke on this before a while ago, but I just want to bring it back because this is very key. Um, Slope is rise over run, right? So, and as far as charts, you don't get a positive slope goes up and to the right. A negative slope goes down and to the right. So, positive slope, negative slope, where it's falling, you should be selling. Okay. And it works on any time frame. But when you don't have a slope, then don't trade. That's the safest way possible. When the slope is zero, meaning, and that's temporary. Like for instance, here, you know this, right? This would have probably been the last trade. If you waited, give it some time, we could have had. This is where the negative slope kicked in, right? Between this is the 4 hour chart, so that's 4, 8, 12, 16, more like the whole day, and that one trade would have sustained you for 2 weeks. Like I said, this is probably the simplest style of trading I've ever seen. And like for example, when it's zero, zero slope is a ranging market. When there's no defined angle, just don't trade. It's not even like you have a slope on the 50 moving average, which you could have sold there. But once they get close to each other, you leave that alone. So, like perfect example, this one slope, and you could have gotten these trades with anything. Like people don't trade the bigger time frames because of it being so dollars. You see here, even here, right? You get in with $1, a point one by the beginning of next week. This is obviously for swing trading, but it works. Like it works. You can see how you can have positive slope for weeks, right? So you'll get the most out of that. But I want to go down to like let's say the H1. This is what we see. You see on the H1, you see the zero slope days, the ranging days. These are ranging days, right? But when you see them beginning to move away from each other, it's showing you that it's a positive slope. Just wait for it to come back down to separation. If you see it on a day like the next day, you can just instantly get in for the buy. Instantly get in for the buy. Go to bed. When you wake up, it's still a positive slope, so it gives you that. Now these days you won't be able to catch unless you go in a smaller time frame. But so what? It's okay. If you miss this, you still can get in on this because this is a negative slope. So this is a day. Or a negative, like for example, right? You didn't get it here, but you could get in. You could have got in any point in this day and held it for a couple days. I mean, a few days. I mean, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. But the eighth day is beginning to taper off. So if you could have held it for 7 days. So this one trade here, it's 1,000 pips. You know, that's pretty straightforward. You see the angle. If it's going down, if it's not defined, you leave it alone. But like even right here, it was defined. So especially in this instance, you should have been getting out here. So you wouldn't got caught up in this. Right. So I just want to show you on every time frame. Obviously, the bigger time frames, you get the bigger moves, you get the longer holds. But once you see it, it's there. Like here, boom, 2 months, 22,000 pips. It's a lot of movement. Let's just go to the everyday person. Or the everyday person. All right. Let's just look at this. And this is my favorite pair. Obviously, gold. And I think that allows me to trade gold at a little bit under $6 per zero point 0.01 margin because all the other ones that I was trading on, they adjusted their margins to $13, $14 or $15 for the smallest trade, which basically uh, lowers your leverage to like something crazy. So um, yeah, so it's going down. So if you don't get in here, anywhere in this area, you could have sold. It's still going down. Nothing is saying the moving averages are not currently up. I don't care what price is doing, it's going to drop. So these 2 days alone, you made over 500 pips. Get into this tight knit gap, right? Until you see a separation or but you see them both going off, then you shouldn't sell. If you anything in here, you leave that alone. Wait till you see it, because once you see it, it's not. It's going to be that. It's going to be that. And then even with this type of pullback, right? I remember when must have been a couple of years ago, probably about a year and a half ago. I was able to turn $24 into 3,000, and I recall how I was able to do that. My biggest my biggest key point in my strategy was my risk to reward. Um, no, it wasn't risk to reward. Forgive me. It was my lot size, uh, my lot size formula. So the way I came up with my lot size was I divided my capital by 200, and then my risk to reward ratio, ratio, I didn't have a reward ratio. I just had a risk ratio. Was my stop loss was 30% of my account. So my lot size was my capital divided by 200, but my risking was 30% of my account. That was my approach, which put me in a safe place because my trades weren't in most of my trades were not in a place where I'm at a 200 pip possibility of being stopped out. No, and I think in that time frame, I maybe lost about 2 or 3 trades, but this is probably the same direction, just direction, really, just looking at the direction, and then it tanks, right? Now, mind you, this is a 15-minute chart, so you can see things better on a higher time frame. But see what it was going to do, and it dropped. That's enough for you to get out. That's 240 pips. Who cares about this? Not even. It's not even market structure. This is not net structure. This only 2 small points, but ultimately it pushed up and get sell. So even in this, the moving averages are pointing down. I can get in here or I can get in here. It's still going to go down. So 240 pips there. If I sold here, just looking at the direction and being able to say, okay, I got this one trade. Let's see what the heck is. Never say it's going to automatically give you this. It goes up. It's going up. I could have bought here for another 90, and even this was still buy. And this is like I said, this is the simplest way of looking at it. I'm just solely banking my trades off direction. I get in, I get my pips, I get out, I look for the next direction. If the direction shows up in the same day, I'll trade according to the direction of the slope of the moving average. That's all I'm looking at. That's all I'm looking at. There's no slope, but here there's slope. I could have got in here for the sale, or I could have got in any of these points. This all was free game. All of this, all of this right here. Let me just put so you can see what I'm saying. I want to show you all of this. Where am I at? Where my shapes? All of this, that whole area was free game. All of it. I could have got in anywhere in that area. Okay. Let's see if it's gonna show up red. Let's see what we got here. No, it's not. Well, that's fine. That red out. Let me see if I can just fix it one more time. See if I can do my thing here. Parameters, visualizations. Well, let me see if I can do it blue. And a little bit thicker. Probably thicker. All right. So that blue square, the rectangle, all that. No, I want this. This is easy money. It drops down, pushes up. If I could have taken advantage of this slope because both of these were not zero, so I could have bought anywhere in this area. Once you see this stuff, it's like, man, what have I been looking at all this time? So all of this was entry for buys, all of that, because the slope went from negative to positive. You leave it alone. You don't see that's no slope, no slope. You push up, okay, you catch it in here. I'm not even looking at double bottoms, double tops. I'm looking at slope. If I don't know the angle, I'll wait for it to reveal itself. Period. If the angle shifts, I shift. If I don't catch the angle the same day, I'll catch it later on because I got all this time to take the trade. If I get in, like I said, first I get in down here, see if there's any adjustments. Come the next day, I get this opportunity, it shoots down. I'm not trying to get this double bottom. I don't care about that. Give me the slope. I need to be able to ride something. If I'm on an escalator, I'm not playing down here. That's fine and dandy. But no, I need something that's already secure with moving averages. Ain't no moving averages around it. I'm not entering there. I'm sorry. Call it what you want to call it. Like all this, I'm buying millionaires. This simple strategy will make millionaires for those who are willing to listen. I'm not teaching you about no Elliott waves, no candle. That don't matter. That fluff don't matter. The moving averages help. It removes the need to have to be right all the time. You can be right when you know what you're looking at. If you don't get it here, guess what? It's gonna show you here. You get your pips, you get out. Wait for another move, wait for another trend. That's it. It's gonna go from negative to positive. That's all it's gonna do. Ain't gonna be no it's positive zero. That's all the market's gonna do. Everything else is waste of time as far as what you should be looking at. Everything else is a waste of time. Period. But this is where candle. Okay, bunk all that. Is the moving averages to make me profitable? Then that's all that matters. I don't need to know about candles. I'm selling this on a positive slope. I'm buying this on a negative slope. Or I'm selling here with the slope then shifted. Like, no, give me the math. I'm good at math. Give me the math formula. Give me the y equals mx plus b, and let this other stuff take its course. I'm not looking at that. It comes down. When it hits this, we green light. This is a green light trade, like strictly off the math alone. Just off the math alone. You can see you go from 0 to the negative. And then this is another thing you gotta realize. The 50 gonna go from the 50 moving average is gonna shift before the 100 moving average shifts. That's why you can see the red turning down first. Red turns down here, but the green don't turn until here. That's because of the time is how many days is being used to calculate the averages. All this was negative. Price comes up, it comes back down. It's still negative. It's still negative. It's negative slope, negative slope, negative. You don't. That's why you don't need to catch trade. If this is 0, I'm not. This is probably the last trade that you had some upswing 0, upswing 0, and then it shoots up. You don't have to worry about all that. Take your trade, let for 2 days straight. Then it goes back to come on. Like I'm telling you, this is going to shake. It's going to shake the forex world, at least in my neck of the woods. I'm talking about everybody in the group gonna be paid, and if they're not paid, it's because they're not doing this. That's the only reason why they're not paid. Because it's simple. Do you see a slope? No, they don't trade. No slope, don't trade. If you see a slope, take the trade. But then because sometimes you may have to take a small loss, something like this, right? You still gotta think about it. Something like this come back down. You're still in the downward trend. If this is the high and it's coming down, you're still in the downtrend. So don't trade ignorantly. But if you take a loss, if you lost, say for instance, you got here, put your stops, set that right back the next day. Whatever we lose, we're gonna make it back. I say like that because that's the 100%. How do people say? Well, how are you 100% accurate? Because whatever I lose, I'm gonna make it back. Whatever I lose, I'm gonna make that back and some. So don't worry about the losses. The angle, the direction. The red gonna shift. The moving average is going. The 50 gonna shift first. See how the 50 shifts going positive? That is what creates the crossing. The shift creates the crossing. You see, if you wait here, you miss all of this opportunity. I'm telling you, this is gonna be a phenomenal year for me and those who follow what I'm saying. I'm not looking for no members. I'm not looking for no social media. I'm not looking for none of that. I'm gonna just do this. I know I said it before in the past about making information, and this will be my last video. But I think this is the kit and caboodle for forex, for trading in general. I think this is the holy grail, and it came directly from God. I'm sitting here at my computer earlier. We all have things we're dealing with in life, and God clearly shows me that, for one, when God gives you when God gives you wisdom, never put God's wisdom down to go find a different way or a better way to do something, because there is no better way. There is no better way for you than what God gives you to do. I don't care what nobody has going on that they are making work that's working for them. If God gives you a way, stick to that way, because that's the way that He's going to use to profit you and to promote you and to increase you. Because God can't get the glory out of what He didn't give you, even if it works for somebody else, right? So He took some of this and He just showed me. Remember the direction. I gave you that. God gave me that nugget last year around this time. It's a tool. It's a GPS. It is the GPS of any chart. The moving averages. You can have one or you can have two. Just know that when the slope shifts, that's all you need. Like, for example, the slope shifted here. It actually started here. So this is how you know you're able to catch it. If you see even in the pullback, the 50 shift, okay, that's your entry. Don't wait till you get the down and it goes up. Yeah, you look at that earlier entry right there. So, like I said, this is gonna shake some things. It's gonna shake a lot of stuff, right? Even with this, who can get? I got this buy. I got that little quick 50 pips. It dropped. So what? I catch it back. All of this is mine. So this move was 300 and something pips, right? And I come back and steal this one. I'm gonna make that back anyway. I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna get that. I don't have to get the instant drop. I'll get the drop. I'll get the next drop. I don't have. You don't have to be first to everything. You got to get rid of that instant gratification and just be thankful that you're able to get a slice of the pie. Well, you don't have to get the first slice of the pie. Just be thankful to get a slice of the pie. Your own convenience, like I said, the 50 and 100 when they're not them not moving at the same time, that creates the crossing. So you looking at this side. If it didn't begin to if they both didn't begin to head in the same direction, then it couldn't be a cross. Couldn't be a cross if the moving averages didn't at some point head in the same direction, right? Late, you could have got in over, even if you got in here, you still could have got 50 pips, right? You get in here. That's what I'm saying. The moving average across is amazing, right? Even with this quick little move, you could have got in there and got some pips. This is stop hunt. If you took this straight, because there's no slope here, slope going down. This is the end of the day. You shouldn't be trading this anyway. It goes down, gives you an entry. It shoots up, gives you an entry for the buy, and then you see it goes from positive to negative. Then it drops off the cliff. That's all it is. That's all Forex is. Positive slope, negative, positive. It's all it is. That's it. Now, as far as risk management, like I said, for me, what works because I trade the 15-minute time frame is taking my capital, dividing it by 200, making my stop loss 30%. So if I got $20, my lot size is 0.01, and I'm risking 30% of that $20, which is $6. That's my stop loss. But I'm trading in line with the moving averages. That's all I'm doing. If I see this, if I don't see if I don't see any slope, I don't trade. But as soon on, and then as far as growing it, if I take that 0.01 and it goes up to 350 pips, that's $35. My account balance is $50. I'm taking a 0.02 here. I'm getting in for the buy instantly. 0.02 there for the 300, that's $60. So that's like 115, right? Drops off. So I got trade there, I got a trade there. I got all off this little mover here. This for the sale, that for the sale, that all them for the sale. And they all could have been bigger trade sizes. Easy. So, and then like I said, if I don't make $1 million this year, it's my fault. If I don't get my family out of the hole we in, it's my fault. God is telling me, I'm giving you the key of being fruitful. So if you're not fruitful this year, it's your fault. That's what God is telling me, and I'm telling y'all the same thing. These are very simple instructions. If we as traders are not fruitful this year, it is not God's fault. I want you to hear me, because I hear God speaking through me. If we are not fruitful this year, you can't have multiple date nights, and you can't travel the world and get the best that God has before He comes to redo His thing. If you can't enjoy this world in the light of God's revelation toward us, it's your fault. It's my fault. You know why you can't go get a job? Because God didn't show you too much. You want to know why it's so hard for you to settle for everyday money? Because God showed you something that most people give up on. You fought the good fight of faith, but it's time to be fruitful. You hanging in there for nothing. It's not God's plan. God does not want you to endure for nothing. You have to endure for an expected end. And that expected end must be greater and must be better and more fulfilling than how it started. But I'm telling you, and as God is telling me, if my endurance is in vain, it is not His. Our endurance in Forex is in vain or becomes of naught. It is not His fault. So with that, I'm gonna call it a night because it's late over here for me. Even though it's a Friday night, I'm tired, and I didn't got all I needed. I got all I needed to hear. And I said all I needed to say, but I pray that you guys hear me on this and do what needs to be done. Once it gets through converting to video, I'll load it to the page. But this year we got to get it. There's no reason for us to remain the same. Everything we need is in our hands as far as finances. We need God for life, health, and strength, but God has given us the power to get wealth. We have it. Let's use it to make our lives better, to make the kingdom better, and to make the lives of those around us better. All right, y'all have a good night.